Doodle-doo-doo, baby. What's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy. Hey, it's me, your friend Jan. How you doing? You okay, mate? I hope so. Really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, of course, the daily series here on Football Therapy, where I see what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my opinion on it, more importantly, asking for yours. Welcome. Today we're talking about what Tuchel said about the formation change in the London Derby semi-final in the EFL Cup. That's right, back four things. Lots to talk about there. I'll be giving you my opinion on it, as well as Tuchel's sort of generalised comment. Also, the transfer window is open. Luca Digne is the hot topic. Chelsea are looking for a left-back option. And despite Marcus Alonso looking better of late, Luca Digne seemingly is the top target as things stand. And I do want to talk about wingbacks on both sides and alternatives and this, that and the other. Lots to get into today, friends. Lots to get into today. Please do drop a like. See how many we can get. We're doing more lately and that's wonderful. Due to us working together as a team, I suppose. Let's see if we can get over 3,000. Drop a like, please. You're all welcome to subscribe, of course. You know, it doesn't cost anything to sub. And if you choose to sub, please turn the bell notifications icon on so you don't miss these loving, wonderful experiences we have together. Anyway, let's talk about Chelsea and football. So, yeah, of course, I didn't do a match review yesterday. A wonderful performance, a wonderful result. Probably should have been better, ultimately, in terms of how dominating we were. The large talking point was a formation change. A lot of us thought it was a 4-2-3-1. Thomas Tuchel called it a 4-4-2. More on that in a moment. Excellent performances from Saul and Hakim Ziyech. Ziyech won man of the match, doing sort of expedition football in terms of his creative passes and vision and general excellence on the ball. You know, Hakim the Dream, the Wizard of London now. And Saul, you know, both their numbers, they both put up metrics where they were first in. Ziyech for offensive and creative, and Saul for industrious and working. They were both very, very good. Of course, both coming into the side from not playing much, and as did Malang Sarr. He played pretty decent as well. Very impressive, considering it was against a pretty much full-strength Tottenham squad in a semi-final. And we changed formation, which perhaps you'd imagine they're not used to, because they always play 3-4-3. Really happy and really, really pleased with their performances, and I'll be keen to hear your thoughts on that. So, although, you know, Google and BBC and loads of sports platforms and publications had it down as a 4-2-3-1 with Edouard Mendy in goal, Malang Sarr and Rudiger in the back two, with Alonso and Azpilicueta as normal conventional fullbacks, a midfield pivot of Saul, Jorginho, and a front four of Ziyech, Mount and Havertz in behind Lukaku. Which kind of sounds right when you talk about the personnel, but actually Tuchel spoke about it more as a 4-4-2 with Hakim, because at times Hakim Ziyech looks more like as a sort of a bit deeper on wide. He looks kind of wing-backy at times, but maybe that's a right mid for you FIFA players or you football fans from, you know, the 90s like me that remember right mids in 4-4-2s being really, right and left mids being really conventional. The old school conventional winger in 4-4-2s. That's kind of like the spaces he occupied. And if you think about it, up front, Lukaku and Havertz, they were looking, you know, Lukaku wasn't always the furthest forward. Sometimes Havertz were. So I think it probably was a 4-4-2. And I guess Mount occupying the left mid role. Upon reflection, you know, I didn't really have a look at Mount's heat map, but point being, very interesting. Chelsea turned to a new formation, and Tuchel spoke about this. He spoke. I'm trying to wonder and speculate if this is just like magnificent mind games. Because although I believe him in what he says, I do genuinely believe him. I think there's because he said basically he did it out of necessity. We usually play a back five. We didn't have five defenders, you know, and so we changed to this formation. Makes sense, you know. And last minute, Thiago Silva and N'Golo Kante had positive tests, so they had to the day before they chose this system. I genuinely believe that narrative. But I also think it could have been like a touch of a masterclass because Conte, of course, would have expected a back three. And this could have been an opportunity in a competition that you don't need to win, the Carabao Cup. Yes, it's a semi-final, Chelsea want to win. But ultimately, like, you know, Champions League and Premier League is where the money and marketing is, and that's where your targets are as a Chelsea manager. So maybe there was a slight... I mean, I'm probably reading too much into this, but you think maybe there's a little bit of a tactical masterclass because Conte ended up switching to a back four as well in that game. Possibly. Obviously, this was great opportunity for Saul, who looked like to be more comfortable in this formation in terms of where people are around him, receiving the ball in spaces. He just felt, it looks like... I know Atleti played wing-back system for a while, so I'm not sure perhaps why. But still, he looked like he was far more comfortable. Maybe he's just developing much, much better. But of course, Hakim Ziyech balled out one man of the match as well because he was occupying what are his native spaces on the football pitch. He's a right winger, isn't he? But like a wide right winger. He's not, he's not an inside number 10 like a 3-4-2-1 that we usually play. He's a winger. He wants to go as wide as he likes, cut in, play long diagonals, invert, play long verticals as well, where he can truly like ball out and show his magnificent ability as a creator, a passer, a visionary footballer. Makes sense. We bought him as a right winger under Frank Lampard. That's why Frank identified him, because he was playing a 4-2-3-1. Makes a lot of sense. I don't want to ruminate too much on this game, but I want to, tip my cap to Malang Sarr, Saul Niguez, and Hakim Ziyech, and perhaps, now he's seen it against a high-profile opponent, granted Spurs were pretty crap on the night, we can play this, and looks like we generate slightly more chances than normal. I mean, it's difficult to say, we certainly weren't, blunted up front. So I wonder if he'll give that another chance, maybe play a back four again on the weekend in the FA Cup against in the CFC derby, CFC versus CFC, Chesterfield Football Club, Chelsea Football Club. So maybe we'll see that again. And who knows, if we win well, I know it's a very weak opposition, but with a rotated side, Tuchel might start be thinking, back four, I want to play back four. Nice to have it in the locker. I've said it a long time here on Football Therapy. I'm totally happy with the 3-4-2-1. But we do need an alternative for these games when we can't score against Burnley. You need to go back forward, do it now, boys. Do it now. You know how to do it. Do it now. Rather than like, we haven't trained this. Cool. So I've spoken enough on that. Let's talk about the transfer window. Luca Dean. First off, Fabrizio Romano's spoken about this. Yesterday, he did 2 tweets yesterday with a 6-hour gap. Originally, he said, Luca Dean will decide his club soon. He'll leave Everton with the Premier League move lightly, but he'll not be going to Newcastle, despite rumours. Not even an option. No way. Chelsea are interested since weeks, but no official talks have opened with Everton yet. Interesting. So he's being heavily linked with Newcastle. By the way, if Newcastle bought Kieran Trippier and Luca Dean as fullbacks in the January transfer window, with Eddie Howe looking a bit better, I think they'd just... I'd be like, okay, they're staying up. Joe Linton's like some amazing midfielder now. They can have Sam Maximan and Callum Wilson up front with those fullbacks. If they sign a centre-back as well, I'd be like, okay, that's a Premier League team out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? That's like a good Premier League team out of nowhere. I would have taken... They're not going to get Digne, but I would have taken either of those fullbacks. I would have taken Trippier at Chelsea, considering the circumstances. Anyway, I digress. So Fabrizio Romano quotes this tweet and says, again, I think he's kind of like reiterating the point here. Again, Luca Dean is not going to join Newcastle in January. He has different plans. Again, no way. Chelsea is still taking time to decide on the left-back situation. Other Premier League clubs moving on Digne. He is leaving this winter. Luca Digne is transferring likely to a Premier League club this winter. Fabrizio Romano says he's not going to Newcastle. So what does that leave? Well, that makes you think Chelsea Football Club. But apparently not. Apparently also West Ham, who of course started the season incredibly well, but faltered a little bit. And, perhaps they want to bolster their chances of maybe going for that 4th spot. Why not? Why not dream, David Moyes? Why not dream, you Irons? Do you know what I mean? Good team. Declan Rice is in the form of his life. And they're being linked to Luca Digne as well. I'm reading this on teamtalk.com. West Ham have reportedly opened talks to sign Everton left-back Luca Dean ahead of the move to the London rivals Chelsea. So they're trying to pip Chelsea to it. Although the Frenchman's £100,000 a week wages could prove a big stumbling block. Thomas Tuchel's men are known frontrunners for the Toffee star, who was rated in the £30 million bracket. I mean, they don't want him. Why is he going to cost 30 million? You know, he's just rotting in the bloody reserves. While Newcastle have also shown interest in his services, and there's also talk of here as well, Ajax's Nicola Tagliafico, who of course is a good option as well. But I think at this point, bringing in a European, especially the Eredivisie. I know Ajax play well in Champions League and stuff, but the Eredivisie is not the Premier League. So personally, I would look internally. I know Kieran Trippier is a proven Premier League performer. Alliteration there, as well as, you know, playing a lot for England, sometimes wrongly, you know, and of course winning La Liga with Atletico Madrid as one of their top sort of 2 or 3 key players, and considering he's fullback. Anyway, Kieran Trippier has gone to Newcastle, so I don't know why I'm ruminating on that. Look, man, 100k a week. I kind of understand it. He plays for France. He's 28 years old. It's last chance to get a good contract. You know, this is like what Rudiger's doing with his 200k a week, you know. I don't really blame him for trying to get free 6 figures a week. I don't know what he's on now. He's probably on half of that at Everton. He'll be looking to, he knows his value, and like he's that. The thing is, Ben Chilwell, what's good Ben Chilwell? Ben Chilwell's probably going to be on about 120, 150. I don't know off the top of my head. I could just quickly search, actually. Ben Chilwell, Chelsea salary. This would be interesting to learn if 190k a week. I'm getting this off sportrack.com. That is a lot of money. £190,000 a week. If we are to believe sportrack.com, it's got like Kepa at 155, Azpilicueta at 150. I know he signed recently in like, not as like a teenager, in like early mid-20s, Ben Chilwell. Really highly rated player, England international from Leicester. You know, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he was on that. He's a defender, but he's a fullbacks get paid more than centre-backs, I think, because they have to be dynamic. They've got loads of tactical instruction. They have to be amazing with their delivery and accuracy, all that kind of stuff. So, kind of get it. I'm a little bit surprised to see that. So, if Ben Chilwell is on 190k a week, paying Luca Digne, if we are to believe sportrack.com, paying Luca Digne 100k a week, is nearly half of that, and he's like a rotational option, and also he could theoretically challenge Ben Chilwell if Ben Chilwell's form drops. So for that much, okay, so I'm going on sportrack.com. I'm going to check out Marcus Alonso's salary. I've just seen, man, apparently Saul Niguez is on 200k a week. So 325 for Romelu Lukaku makes sense. Our top owner scores goals win games. Again, Sportrack, if we are to believe this website. And N'Golo Kante 290 makes sense. Timo Werner 272, and then Saul Niguez 198, which I guess is just mega Atletico Madrid wages. And then Ben Chilwell's next. Ben Chilwell being our 5th highest earner. Wow, this is mental. Kai Havertz on 150 and Timo Werner on 272. £122,000 more a week than Kai Havertz. Because when we bought Timo Werner, we assumed, what do you pay for in football? You pay for goals, don't you? So you think, give all the money to him. So yeah, Timo Werner is, Jesus, laughing to the bank. I'll be interested in hearing what you guys think in terms of how reliable you think Sport Rack is, if any of you know about it. Like Hakim Ziyech is on 100k a week, and Jorginho is on 100k as well. There's a lot of people on 100k. Marcus Alonso, Callum Hudson-Odoi on 120. That he's got a lot of criticism for being on that, for perhaps not delivering. But if you think about Hudson-Odoi on 120. That's much less than half of what Timo Werner is on. So anyway, I found Marcus Alonso here. Marcus Alonso is on 100k a week. So 100k a week, pretty much Luca Digne would be demanding the same amount of money as Marcus Alonso's current wage. He's 28 years old. That's pretty much when Alonso signed his deal for 100k a week. I think he signed that extension around then. Kind of makes sense. And but the thing is, Marcus Alonso had won a Premier League with us. He'd won an FA Cup with us and stuff like that. He'd been in rotation for a Europa League, etc. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's Luca Dean done? He does play for France. He's younger. We need him. I kind of get it. So I'm totally okay. I'd probably be okay with paying him Marcus Alonso's wage, and considering he'd probably play over Marcus Alonso in terms of being that rotational option. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you have not minded me going through these wages and reflecting on this in terms of what the content is, because I found it interesting. Usually I just want to engage directly into the camera and talk to you about the news and give you my opinion rather than perhaps read something live, but I did find that interesting, and in the context of the potential signing of Luca Digne, which of course is very relevant at the moment, and certainly the big headlines, I think that's quite interesting. I would be okay with paying Luca Digne wage demands of 100k should Chelsea think this guy's going to be a real option here as a rotational, guy with Ben Chilwell for the next 4 years, maybe 3 years, 4 years. Makes sense, and then you might be able to flog him, or especially if we only give him a 4-year deal for 3 of those years, he could be top of his game. Guys, let me know what you think. I'll be really keen to learn. If you do enjoy the content, please do drop a like. Let's see if we can get a bunch of likes over 3,000. Why not? I believe in us. And whenever there's a big story, I immediately try and react to it and give you guys the information. So make sure the bell notifications icon is turned on when you subscribe to not be late for the news. Don't be late. Don't be late. Alright guys, enjoy the football. I'll see you soon. Peace.